We're about to celebrate the holiday of Shavuot, the day when the Jewish people stood as one at the base of Har Sinai, Mount Sinai, and received the Torah from God himself. On Shavuot, we have a custom to stay up the entire night, or as much of it as possible, to study the Torah, to tell God that we don't consider the Torah to be a dusty old relic that no longer has meaning in our lives. Rather, we consider it to be new and fresh and relevant. It's a living, breathing blueprint for how to live our lives today. In last week's Torah portion, God told us that if we observe his commandments, 5 of us will pursue and defeat 100 of our enemies, and 100 of us will defeat 10,000 enemies. The sages point out that the math doesn't seem to work. 5 pursuing 100 is a 20-to-1 ratio. So 100 should be able to defeat 2,000, not 10,000. So the sages explain that God's telling us that you can't compare a small group of Jews observing the Torah to a large group. Now, if God had just wanted to make the point that a group is more powerful than an individual, he could have said that 1 will pursue 20 and 100 will pursue 10,000, and we would have understood that. But he wanted to make the additional point that even when you're in a group, a larger group will give us more power. Each one of us will be more powerful geometrically. So this Shavuot, the more people that we can get studying Torah, the more power that we'll have up in heaven. There's a famous question that's asked rhetorically. If a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? The corollary question we could ask is, if a Jew is studying Torah by himself or herself in some remote outpost in the desert or in the Amazonian rainforest or in the Arctic in an igloo or marooned or shipwrecked on an island, does it count? Does God hear that? And the answer is a resounding yes. It's no accident that the Torah portion we're about to read this Shabbos, just before Shavuot, is one in which God tells Moshe, to take a census, to count each and every one of the Jewish people, to tell us that each and every one of us counts. Now, movie trailers are very popular because they whet our appetite for the real thing, the full-length feature film that's to follow. So I figured I'd make a movie trailer to hopefully whet your appetite for the real thing for Shavuot. Here it is.